Raven Simone and her bitch-ass wife invited known predator Colleen Ballinger onto their podcast to defend herself and tell her side of the story. Yeah, I don't think we're ready for this. Number one, this is my first ever YouTube video that I'm sitting down, recording, editing, posting, so show me some love. So I'm going into this already unhappy with the fact that Raven even invited Colleen onto her podcast, and the way that her and her wife are responding to controversies. Like, her wife literally said that she thinks everyone who is giving her hate comments has a 6th grade education. They're literally dismissing us. Like, oh yeah, have the dismissive people invite the narcissistic dismissive predator onto their podcast to defend herself. It makes so much sense.
I feel so quick to just react and not have any ability to think, oh, like, maybe she's busy, maybe she's doing something else, maybe she's working, maybe she didn't feel like it that day. It seems that people have lost the ability to do that. And what I heard was that the average person in our country has a 6th grade education. That is the average person. And reading capability. And 6th grade reading capability, which means that the majority of people you are interacting with online, although they're not 12 years old in age, in brain space and capability, they most likely are.
A lot of us are uneducated, okay? It's a systematic problem. The American education system is disgusting. So everyone's already mad at Raven and her bitch ass wife, and then they wanna add literal fuel to the fire. Like, yeah, honey, you got a big storm coming.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
If you don't know about Colleen already, I'm gonna break it down real quick, okay? Colleen Ballinger, known for her character Miranda Sings. Miranda Sings was a outlandish, over the top. She was known for her obnoxiousness. She wore red lipstick all over her face, like a clown. She would talk in a very specific accent. She would say inappropriate things that she didn't know was inappropriate. And in the show that Colleen created, where she met her husband while she was still married, yeah, she's a cheater. There's too much. So on the show that she created, basically she would go into like this lore of that her uncle was doing inappropriate things to her, and that's why she was saying these inappropriate things. The subtext behind her character was that she didn't know it was wrong because it was normalized in her household. And the fact that Colleen made that character and doesn't realize that that's literally directly from your subconscious. Colleen says that character Miranda is a mean girl. No, Colleen, you're the mean girl. Also, Colleen, you're Miranda. Like, I don't know if you know this or not. You're Miranda. The character that you created in your head, you're her. What do you mean? What the fuck? Oh, Miranda did this, Miranda did that. No, you're not fucking Two-Face. You're the same person, okay? Anyway. The victims in this situation, the people who came out are Adam McIntyre. We love him. We love the bestie. Give him support. Give him love. He has so many videos about this situation. If you don't know already, like, I feel like you should, but like, if you don't know, like, hit up Adam. Don't hit him up. Don't. Just look back at his videos. Don't re-traumatize Adam. He doesn't deserve it, okay? Adam is a classic textbook grooming victim. He was used for free labor. He got special access to shows. They were texting in group chats when he was a minor. They were talking about sexually explicit jokes. Then Colleen sent Trisha Paytas's nudes to Adam to make fun of Trisha Paytas. And then, side note, Colleen Ballinger, way later in the timeline, ended up doing a podcast with Trisha Paytas. And that's when this whole thing blew up, when she was on the podcast with Trisha Paytas. Like, what? Then there's Becky, who was one of the victims in the yoga challenge incident, which they'll get into it, but pretty much she's one of the on-stage victims. We'll call her that. The last victim who came forward was Oliver, who was groomed by Colleen's brother. I forget his name, and I can't really be bothered to look it up at this time. Because fuck that guy. He's a freak nasty bitch. Oliver was one of the children who was being messaged by Colleen's brother because of Colleen. Like, basically Colleen's brother was like, oh, I'm Colleen's brother. And they would just he continued the inappropriate relationship from there. Her brother groomed children, literally like textbook dream SMP style grooming. Oh, do you want to come hang out? Like, literally sexually exploitative messages with a minor, multiple minors. It's really sick behavior. And then allegedly the family knew about it and they were normalizing it. It was just a horrendous situation. And the fact that, like, Colleen she says she went to therapy, but, like, girl, I feel like it doesn't take a few months or a few years of therapy. I feel like this is a lifetime of trauma that you need to be undoing. And going on these two lesbians podcast is not the moves. Because you're unhealed. It's obvious by the end you're unhealed. What you're about to see is some freak nasty, downright evil shit. And quite frankly, shame on you, Raven-Symoné, for bringing this demon into your podcast. If you're broke, just say that. Like, you're not broke. You're literally not broke. You have like $40 million. Why the fuck did you bring her on the podcast? They say at the end, we just love conversation. We just wanted conversation. No, you want controversy. You want to stir the fucking pot. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? And you won't listen to hate comments. You won't listen to comments. They literally won't listen to comments. It's actually sickening. Anyway, let's get back into the video. Also, side note, we're crafting. So I watched Adam's video about Colleen, the one that he posted 18 hours ago. Yeah, I watched that one and I reacted to it, but low-key I was kind of unhinged and I'm not posting that. I do have the footage of it though, so like let me know if you want to see that. But basically, she's literally re-traumatizing Adam right now. He said one thing that I really like agree with. He was like, the more I age, the more mad I get towards the situation because he is getting closer to her age and so am I. Side note, I watched Colleen Ballinger when I was a kid. If you want to know about that, I didn't get traumatized by her, but yeah, okay, anyway. This is an hour and 4 minutes. So I obviously have to break this up into chunks. Gotta chunk this bitch. Anyway.
Today, we're sitting down with Colleen Ballinger, actress, comedian, and YouTuber best known for her character Miranda Sings.
If you were anywhere online in 2023, you probably saw Colleen's name trending. It's because she was accused of crossing personal boundaries with fans, some of whom were minors, and the response was intense.
She posted a response video that made the whole situation blow up even more.
I'm sorry. I have to pause. We are 23 seconds in. I have to pause. I hate the way that Raven-Symoné's wife looks, acts, sounds. I actually hate looking at her. I actually am getting very mad. And Raven, you're starting to piss me off, girl. You're starting to piss me off because number one, strike one, marrying that thing. Strike two, inviting a predator on your podcast and saying allegedly. I understand you have to say that for legal reasons, but let me just confirm. Photos are not alleged. They happened. And this is predatory behavior that needs to be reflected on. That's not boundary crossing. That's illegal.
What followed was one of the biggest public cancellations we've seen in a while.
This is actually the first time that we're meeting Colleen, and we've decided to do it now because we feel like enough time has passed for reflection and learning and for a real conversation behind the headlines.
We decided to do it now because we're dead broke. You invited a demon into your house for money. Bye.
Easy to form opinions based on what we see online, but harder to sit down face to face and ask questions about what's really happened, what someone's taken from it, and how they're moving forward.
Our goal isn't to revisit every detail, but to understand the human side of the story that became very public.
So today, Colleen is here to share her perspective in her own words, to share what she's learned, what she regrets, and what she hopes all of us take away from it now.
And we're here.
What can I take away? What can I take away from this? What can I take away? She's mentally ill, she has done no reflecting, she still thinks she's the victim, and her family normalized that abuse. Yeah, it's not just her, it's also her brother. Her brother also abused children, using her fame to get to her child audience. Disrespectfully, you guys look like fucking clowns. Disrespectfully, you guys look like you need money. If you need money, just say that. It's not hard to beg for money. You just go, money please, and the internet goes, okay. Money please. You do not have to do this. Whose idea was this? Was it that thing? Was it that creature? Because if so, electric chair.
Electric chair.
Get rid of her. Get rid of that thing. I don't want to see it ever again. Take those fucking Why are you wearing old people glasses? You're not 90 years old driving in the middle of the night. You don't need those fucking orange glasses, you stupid bitch.
To listen.
Here's our conversation with Colleen Ballinger.
You know, now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children. And I wish that I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like, everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
My next guest tonight is one of the most popular YouTubers in the world.
Her videos have garnered more than 1 billion views online.
You all know her as Miranda Sings.
Please welcome Colleen Ballinger.
Over 6 million subscribers, nearing 2 billion views, now a Netflix show.
You're famous. You're famous. We're both famous.
Colleen has written a best-selling self-help book, is touring around the world, and has appeared with the likes of Jimmy Fallon and Jerry Seinfeld.
YouTube star Colleen Ballinger, who's better known as her online persona Miranda Sings, is facing significant backlash. She's been accused of having inappropriate relationships with some of her underage fans.
And now a new video she made is landing the content creator in even more hot water.
They wanted an explanation, and they deserved that, and I didn't give it to them.
What?
No, instead, I wrote, performed, edited, and posted a 10-minute long ukulele song where I denied and gaslit everybody for calling me out on my abusive behavior. Yeah. I was gonna say something so much worse, but I hope you stub your toe. Okay, that's all I can say. I hope you stub your toe so hard that the fucking nail falls off, you stupid cunt. Whoa, we're Australian now, cause you cunt. And you know what? That creature, I'm gonna call her Crazy Amy, because I don't know if you've seen Kitchen Nightmares. Amy's baking company, you look exactly like her, and
Customer is not always right.
you're vibrating at that same crazy frequency. And I personally need you to get off my screen. I'm not gonna say anything worse because I don't want to say death threats on the internet, but like genuinely that's how I feel. It's a primal rage. And it has to go somewhere. I'm sorry. Maybe don't say, I'm richer than my wife. I don't even care. I didn't even watch That's So Raven. I didn't even watch Cheetah Girls. I like literally don't care. Like I'm richer than her anyway.
How much did you know about Raven before y'all dated? I don't know if you were watching her stuff or not. I mean, obviously Raven is Raven Simone. You had to watch That's So Raven, but maybe you weren't the biggest fan.
I actually had not watched any of That's So Raven.
Are you the same age? I'm older.
I'm 35. Raven is 37.
She has no excuse.
Because she thought that in marrying me, a Jewish girl, she was going to get an upgrade.
I was very rich too. And then but you're rich.
That's just me.
Really? Wait, you're wealthier?
Yeah, we can talk about
Wait,
that.
why? No, we'll talk about it now.
Okay, pause, side note, tangent. There was actually such an amazing, well done video on the dynamic between Raven and her bitch ass wife. Linked here. Please go watch it. This creator, she like psychoanalyzes in a way that's so satisfying. You know? But like, if you're like me, you love a good why. Why do you act like that? Because like, that's like my entire thing is that like I want to judge your outside and get a good picture of what's going on inside, because there's some crisscross wires, there's something not right here. Okay?
Happened personally, internally.
I was so caught up in the things that weren't true that were being said about me that I feel like I wasn't listening to the things that were true. I don't blame anyone but me. It was like a part of my brain was missing. People do make mistakes, and people can learn and grow and change.
Did you know they were underage at the time?
Welcome back to another episode of Tea Time. Today on the podcast, we have somebody who you definitely know. Because if you know YouTube,
You know her.
You know her. You have to know her.
You have to know that we're inviting a predator. You have to know. She was so famously dragged across the fucking concrete because she's a predator, and she did horrible things to children that was on video and photographed. And you just have to know how fucked up we are for bringing her on our podcast. You just have to know. You have to know her. I'm gonna slash your tires. Hey, Raven Simone's bitch ass wife, I literally cannot be bothered to learn your name. That's how much I hate you. If I ever see you, you're getting a knuckle sandwich. Guaranteed. Rotisserie style knuckle sandwich. It's hot and ready. I'm getting so triggered. She's rage bait. She's rage bait. She's rage bait. She's rage bait. All she is rage bait. She literally knows what she's doing and she's rage baiting me. Okay. Also, did you know that they were underage? Did you think that they were little people? Did you think that they were 40? She's interacting face to face with her child audience. She knows they're underage. Do you guys know anything about the fucking situation? Do you know anything about the predator you just invited onto your fucking podcast? Are you kidding me? This is so irresponsible. Influencers piss me off so bad because how are you going to be this irresponsible? I should have been thinking about the 6 million children who are watching me. Yeah, you should have been. It's called your job. You need help? And Raven Simone and her bitch ass wife are not going to give it to you. You need help from a mental health professional. And that's the goddamn truth.
Ballinger. That is it. That is my name.
You said it right.
You did.
I get so nervous about like butchering people's names, even though I know your name is
because
Colleen
everybody
Ballinger,
butchers
and I've
hers.
said it so many times.
It wouldn't bother me if you did. Most people don't say it right. My whole life it was Colleen Ballinger.
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 Yeah,
People said
I'm
usually.
Mayday, and so people are always like Mayday, because it's not with the middle Y.
Oh, okay.
So it gets very
Yeah, my name is Raven. People call me Janet. It's so weird. I don't understand.
Okay,
Anyway, we really appreciate you being
we're
here
really happy
today.
that you're here.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, there is a very big.
That joke would have been funny. It would have landed with me if I wasn't so livid by the other two bitches on the screen. Raven, I really want to love you here. We want to love you, and you're making it so fucking hard with your choices. Now I know how my parents feel. Now I know how my parents feel. We want to love you, but you're making bad decisions, and I can't take it anymore. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Dad. I get it now. I get it now.
Elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And I think that we just have to address it.
Sure.
Immediately.
Yeah, let's address it immediately.
Why Miranda?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking about that. I was like, how do we address this when I get there?
It's pretty massive.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I mean, luckily for you, she's been gone for a while, so you don't have anyone to compete.
Has she? Has she? Oh, wait. Oh, I just read that. Her name's Miranda. That's why I hate her. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, no. Raven Simone's bitch-ass wife is named Miranda. Oh, no. Again, electric chair.
Electric chair.
Miranda's been gone for a while. In a video that you posted a few months ago, you were saying that you literally put on the lipstick.
Ready for a jump scare. I haven't done this in so long. This is really weird.
You recorded yourself on a face cam and
I was like, oh, I want to film this Miranda thing really quick before their bath time. Put on the shirt and I ran upstairs. I got some lipstick. I wanted to do it really fast before their bath time. I didn't put much thought into it. I just
read a book to your children as Miranda sings.
I'm going to read the Pow Pow Fish book to my kids. I'm a pow pow fish with a pow pow face, and I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blump, blump, blump.
She's been gone for a while. How long is a while? A few months? A few weeks? A few hours? A few days? How long is a while? Because it doesn't seem that she's been gone for that long. And also, if I were you, I would never wear red lipstick ever again in my entire fucking life. I'd burn it. That color is banned. It's blacklisted. I'm never fucking wearing that shit ever again, especially not around my children, my very young children who don't know what I did yet. I know in 10 years, if we're still around, because the world is going to shit. The world is going to shit. If we're still around in 10 years, if the internet's still around, I know your kids are going to make a video and be like, my mom groomed me. And it's just going to come full circle again. Because not only was your apology not an apology, but this is you playing the victim as well. Alright guys, we're fucking 20 minutes in to recording and we're 3 minutes into the podcast. I need to stop talking and start watching, but that's gonna be really so hard for me. Okay, we're pressing play now.
With that name, but
thank you.
But yeah, I mean, do you actually want the answer to that question?
Yes, I do.
Why Miranda? Why did I name her? Why does she exist?
Why did you name her? We'll get into
Why
the
did you
other
name
stuff
her
later.
and then that?
I was in college doing a play, like a one-act thing, some student-run thing, and I was cast as the role of Miranda. And I thought it was a show about Disney princesses. That's what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm going to get Belle. And then it was like, you're Miranda. And Miranda was like the mean, rude girl in the show. And then when I actually performed it, I think our biggest audience was like 7 people or something. There wasn't a lot of people who came. So when my friends came, I would sing just off key, just a little bit, like just under the pitch or just above the pitch, or like be awkward on stage to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And so when I created the character, I needed a name. I just finished that show, and I didn't put much thought into it. It was just, I just did this character with this name, so I'll use that,
Wow.
You're a mom of 3 now,
I can't believe that.
right?
That's
3
so.
babies.
I don't know if I keep thinking there's gonna be a day where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a mom. Like it doesn't. I can't. Like it can't even. It doesn't. Like I obviously am a mom, and I love my kids more than anything in the world. But it's like, I love Flynn, Maisie, and Wesley. Like I'm like they're not. I don't have 3 kids.
How old do you feel in your body or in your brain? Like how old do you feel? Because I feel.
If you push 3 living creatures out of your body, I would assume that you feel you're a mother. The fact that you're distancing yourself from your own kids, being like, I don't even feel like a mom. I love my kids, but they're not my kids. They're just random people that live in my house who happen to be 4 years old. I don't want to know what you do to those kids behind closed doors, but I know it is not okay. Guaranteed, there is abuse in that household. And Raven and her bitch-ass wife are platforming a predator. Raven, why? Ah! Okay.
Like 20 sometimes.
20s, yeah. I'd say like mid to late 20s. I feel like I'm stuck there, like in my mind of like, that's, yeah, maybe even younger. I don't know, but I definitely don't feel like I'm in my.
Hey, guess what? You were mid to late 20s when you were grooming children. Are you still stuck there? Are you still stuck in that mental state? Are you still there? Sounds like it.
30s. And when people say my age, I'm like, oh my God, why are you calling me old? Like, I don't, and I'm like, oh, they just said my age. Got it. So
What is your age?
So interesting.
Hilarious.
Oh, me? Oh, you're 38. I think, yes, 38.
We're the same age.
You're 38?
I'm 38.
You look a lot younger than that.
What? Thank you.
You look like what did you say before we started? A young British boy.
Yes. I'm a young British
The loving words I heard them speak to each other before we started filming.
But let me.
No, you look like Crazy Amy from Amy's Banking Company. That bitch is crazy.
Well, we have 3 little boys, but they're trapped inside cat bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cats.
Our babies are cats. They're my whole life, besides my husband and my business. I speak feline. Meow, 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 meow.
Anyway. I'm getting a headache.
Let's talk about it though, because you come from a big family. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that when you have that many siblings, like you're just able to say whatever and blurt it out, and it's like joking and moving around. And one thing that I learned when I was on The View is that there's a difference between live in front of the audience and what's happening at home. Mm-hmm. And it took me a while to kind of learn that conversation. Mm-hmm. So to slowly just kind of talk about it, do you feel like you're at home when you're in front of a camera and you feel like that, or have you?
Totally. Okay. I mean, that was the whole thing, right? I mean, when I started doing YouTube, it was like kind of when YouTube started.
Yeah.
So the whole appeal of it, I feel like back then, was that these people who were getting famous online, they weren't celebrities. They were real people. We were in our home. Like that was the appeal of it, is that we were your friend, someone who's just, I'm talking to you from my living room, from my kitchen, talking about my day.
Your friend? You're friends with 6 million children? I'm gonna do this every time she says something where I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Honestly, quite literally, I feel like she's in more of a receptive state right now. Maybe she is open to criticism. Maybe she is aware. Maybe, like, not aware, but maybe she's, like, coming to terms with what she did. And maybe she will, hear out the criticism. If she just admitted exactly what she did wrong, there probably is still an audience out there for her. It's not me, though. It hasn't been me since I've been 12, so, you know, we're moving on. And you were never my friend, you bitch.
So yeah, definitely it's really hard to separate the two between like what's private home life and then what's part of the public persona. To me, it was always one and the same. So, and that was, you know, that was a hard thing for me to figure out the lines and boundaries of that, because I thought that was the whole appeal of like back then, you know, when I started doing YouTube, it's that I wasn't a celebrity. The people who rose to fame in the beginning, they're just like us. They're, you know, that's
Is that what made you want to start YouTube?
No.
What made you want to start?
It was brand new. When I found it was like brand new. I, you know, saw that people were talking to a camera alone in their room. And I was like, that's so strange, because now everyone talks to their phone, talks to their camera constantly. It's like, that's all we do all day. But 20 years ago, that was like, what are they doing? Do they know that I can see this? Like, I can see them sitting in their room talking to the camera. So I created the character of Miranda, and not you, but like my actual character. And I put it online for my friends. Like, you know, it was a joke for my friends, because like I said, I used to sing a little bit off the pitch, like in theater and choir, to make them laugh. So I created this character that was like a little off with her singing, but was really cocky. You know, I thought it was funny, and I put it on to send to my friends. And so I only uploaded stuff to YouTube to send to family and friends as like a joke, or, you know, performance videos of me to send to my parents at home. I was in college. There was no such thing as a YouTuber when I started doing YouTube. It was just a website you could upload videos to. There was no desire to become famous from it. There was no desire to become a YouTuber, because that wasn't a thing. There weren't influencers. It was just people uploading videos.
I have a question about Miranda.
Okay.
Why the red lipstick?
Well, in the beginning, I would do whatever people didn't like. Because in the beginning, originally, I thought it was so funny that people couldn't tell if she was real or not. And so people thought it was real. And
meaning they
thought Miranda was a real...
That just unlocked a core memory, because I really didn't know if she was real or not. I was 10. I was 10 years old watching YouTube on my iPod Touch, because I had a long day at school. I needed something to take the edge off. I don't know, but I genuinely remember not being able to tell if she was real or not for a little bit. And then I understood that she was a character, because then I would see the videos of Colleen and I'd be like, oh, that's her when she's normal. Okay, I get it. But genuinely, I thought she was like real. This was posted 6 hours ago. It has 10,000 views and 500 likes. Guys, Adam ratioed the fuck out of them. Adam posted his video 3 hours ago, and it has 18K views. I fear everyone who's watching this is doing the same thing that I'm doing. Sorry about that. My boyfriend came home and he got me a donut. And then this is spicy cornbread. If you don't like eating noises, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna be eating this because I need my iPad time, okay? I need my YouTube eating iPad time. You're probably eating too, so whatever. We eat together.
That was you.
Herman. Yeah, they thought it was. So for a while, that was it. Like, people thought Miranda was a real person, and so whatever people said they didn't like in the comments, I would do it more, because I was like, who sits and just writes like, these are strangers to me. I don't know these people. And again, this is when it was all new. Like, this is brand new to me into the world.
It's still happening.
Oh yeah, but I'm a little aware that it's still happening.
These comments are crazy.
It's a lot different now. It's much different now than it was. But
these comments are crazy. I don't know if you guys realize this because you're so distant. I read comments. We all read comments. That's what TikTok is for. You look in the comments because you want to see what other people are talking about. Okay? And the fact that everyone's like, oh, hate comments. They're just hate comments. Read the comments. If a majority of the comments are hateful or negative, you're probably doing something wrong. Like this comment, "This is not the interview you think it is. You can still take this down." Yeah, you can. Because Adam ratioed your fucking ass. Embarrassing.
But when they started trickling in, it was like they'd say, "Oh, I don't like how you pronounced this word," and so I'd mess up how I pronounce words more moving forward. I've tried to egg on the comments a little bit in the beginning because I thought it was funny that people thought it was a real character.
It sounds like you were doing
It
sounds like you were doing performance art and having the audience inform you of where to go next, knowing that a little tinge of under the note is very appealing at times, right? And that's how you kind of gained your following, by just a little bit of irritation to where people could hate.
Raven, respectfully, if she's psychoanalyzing this part of the conversation and she doesn't psychoanalyze the predator part of the conversation, we're gonna have an issue. And maybe that knuckle sandwich that I'm giving to your wife, maybe I'll make it a double.
And could love at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I think the appeal in the beginning was that people couldn't tell if it was real or not. And then when people figured out that it wasn't real, they felt like they were in on a joke or something. They were in on it, and that was fun for them. And, like I said in the beginning, it was an older audience for the first few years of my career. And I was doing a lot of, nightclubs and stuff like that.
Like, how old do you think?
I just graduated college, so there were people my age, but it was the gay theater community. It was like a lot of like older gay men that would like come to my shows, and so my comedy was it was crass and over the top and whatever, but they liked that they were in on this joke. And Miranda was a lot more subtle at the beginning too.
Number one, I'm eating a maple bar from a local bakery. It's really good. I'm gonna say this, honestly, she might have had a chance as a normal comedian. She might have had a chance if she just wasn't a freak. It's sad. Maybe she can start over if she age restricts her videos and completely drops the Miranda character. She's dead, let her die. Rest in peace. Let her die. She's gone. In fact, other Miranda, bitch-ass wife Miranda, change your name. It's tainted.
Over time, it became this really dramatic, more cartoony, intense character. But in the beginning, it was much more subtle. And over time, as people commented what they did and didn't like, I would do things more. So in the beginning, people, I think, were drawn to the fact of, is this an actor or not? And then once they figured that out, and then the audience kind of grew and changed over the years, the appeal shifted. Because I noticed people started coming to the shows and saying that they were inspired by the character, and they were inspired by her resilience, and that she didn't care what haters said about her, and she didn't care that people were bullying her. She still just was her true authentic self and was confident no matter what anyone said. And so that was never my intention, but it was a cool thing to watch happen, that all of a sudden people were inspired.
And this was still live, right? This was not on YouTube yet.
Well, it was on YouTube. It was both. So I had YouTube, and I used YouTube as a way to promote the live shows. So online, it was mostly, people hating Miranda. I mean, there were some comments too, laughing and thinking it was fun and silly and whatever. But yes, it was definitely in person and in fan letters and whatnot. That's where I would get the comments of this really helped me, to be myself, to be my weird self, and to have confidence and not listen to the haters. And that was a really pleasant surprise of doing the character that I wasn't expecting, was it becoming something that kind of became an inspiration for people to not.
If you want to move forward, lean into that. Why are we double backing? Colleen, one piece of advice I can give to you as a certified predator hater: go to therapy, talk about your family, talk about your brother, talk about why you did those things, genuinely. Figure out what went wrong in your own brain and fix it. Number 2, move forward with adult comedy, adult commentary, age restrict your videos, show that you are accountable, show that you are responsible, and provide a positive message. Those are things that people can applaud you for. And the fact that you're just like double backing on Miranda Sings and you posted a 10-minute long ukulele apology defending yourself. Adam, Becky, Oliver, the people who started your whole cancellation, toxic gossip train, oh, everyone's against me. They were children when you were a full-grown adult. You're beefing with children. Grow the fuck up. Literally go to therapy. That's my advice.
What people thought, especially as the internet was growing and rising and, you know, online bullying and hate was getting worse and worse. Like, I think it was good for people to see and hear someone who wasn't traditionally pretty or talented. You know, it was like this weird looking, untalented girl, like, be like, I don't care what you say, I'm so confident. Like, she didn't, you know, Miranda didn't care what anyone said.
When Miranda came to be, it really wasn't, that was for an adult audience.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I certainly never thought I'm making a kid show or a kid character or something to entertain children. Like, that was never the goal ever, actually, in my career. And even when I did my Netflix show, that was a discussion that we had constantly, because they were like, you know, they were noticing, because they came to a couple of my live shows, the people involved, and they're like, oh, there's a lot of teens here. So let's put this on the kids app. And I was like, whoa, this is not a kids show. Like, I do not want this on the kids app. That would be inappropriate. Like, this is 100% not for children. And it was like but they really wanted it there because they saw a younger audience. And they were like, we want the younger audience to be able to see this. And I was like, that's fine, but like, they need their parents' approval because this is not a kid show and this isn't a kid character. So I never set out for it to be for kids, or, you know, it was, like I said in the beginning, my comedy was pretty crass. And you can go back and look at like my old original content, my first videos I ever uploaded. Like, my humor was that of like a, you know, mid-20s girl who was in theater and, you know, with all my gay friends just we were being like silly and ridiculous and crude. But the people who watched me, they liked that style of comedy and that style of humor.
You said that Miranda Sings, you had a good 20-year run. 20-year run with that. You got a Netflix show, girl. I ain't even had a Netflix show. God damn. I'm sorry. You had a Netflix. Thank you.
Yep.
I can do anything. You had a 20-year run. You explained that you hustled to make that character what it was. And then the world imploded. And then you got canceled. And then you had all these accusations and a lot of voices come through the screen that had been rooting for you for so long. You had the rug pulled out from underneath you. We will get into those and kind of talk a little bit about some of the comments people have made and how certain situations have made watchers and viewers feel. But I first want to ask you, when you first got that ting about, oh no, something is going astray, what happened personally, internally to you?
You know, it was kind of a slow build. And I feel like I felt it brewing for a little bit first, you know. It was a very jarring experience. And first, I think I should say, you know, when my audience kind of grew and it went from this older audience to, you know, it spread and there was now a lot more teens watching me. I didn't adjust my comedy very much because I was like, well, they found me doing this, so this is what they like and this is what I like, so I'm going to keep doing the comedy they like. And I did adjust it a little bit over time. But one thing that I didn't do, and I should have been much more careful about, is I didn't adjust my interactions with my fans. And that's something I regret a lot because, like I said earlier, the difference between me and a mainstream celebrity, at least in the beginning, was that I was attainable and look, she'll talk to us. She'll interact with us and she's talking to us from her living room. She'll talk about anything. And she's so open and she'll talk one-on-one with us. She meets us in person at her shows and whatnot. And we know her, you know.
My aunt met her multiple times. I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. She was in one of her videos. I told my friends, I was like, look, my aunt's in a Colleen Ballinger vlog video about her tour. We played that shit. I obsessively did the Miranda Sings accent because it was just one of those neurodivergent things where you just repeat, like it sits in your brain. I did it so often, and my friends were literally, I was in 6th grade, I remember it. My friend was like, literally stop talking like that. I can't be around you anymore. You're actually so annoying. I remember feeling so embarrassed in that moment where I'm like, wow, I have a problem. I have a Miranda Sings accent addiction. I have a problem. I need to go to MA, Miranda Anonymous.
Oh, and I didn't think about when I was interacting with my fans, I didn't think about a power dynamic that could have been there. I didn't think about a parasocial relationship, and I should have. I should have been more responsible in thinking about that, but I didn't even think of myself that way. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Like, I think I felt the same way. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. I talk to all of them like they're my friends, my sisters, all the fans. And I definitely should have been more careful with the way I was joking with them and the things I was saying to them.
Do you feel like not having a team earlier in your career hindered you from making better decisions?
I definitely wish I had someone to give me advice. I was with that group of like the first YouTubers that kind of like...
They're all terrible people. All have their controversies now. You realize how that works? And also, you were surrounded by your family. There's obviously a cycle of abuse in your family because your brother and you both abused children. Your sister and you had a little weird podcast with underage JoJo Siwa. That's inappropriate. Obviously, your family's messed up. It's a weird gray area because, like, yeah, she did horrible things, but she didn't do, like, unforgivable things. Like, a lot of the shit that she does was disgusting. It was horrendous. It's just hard because, like, in her mind, she doesn't see it that way. She's just a person like everybody else. So I genuinely kind of feel bad for her at this point where it's like, yeah, how do you continue? Your career is gone now. You know what? Hey, Colleen, watch this video. Go into comedy. If you feel passionate about that, you can do that. For adults only. Restrict your YouTube. Show that you've made progress. Hire a good therapist. There's so many things that you can do. You know what? Shit. Hire me. I know. No, I'm kidding. But Adam said that a few times where he's like, hire me. I'll write for you. I'll tell you what to do. Because, like, low-key, the younger kids, we observed your career. We observed it all. Now we're old enough to articulate what you did wrong. So you should fucking listen.
So it's not like there were people before me doing this that I could look to and ask questions about. This was a new thing.
Yeah.
And so... And I'm not saying that as an excuse. You know, there's plenty of other people who rose to fame who didn't interact with their fans, and but it was something that I felt was an appeal to why people were watching me at all. And I felt such pressure to like make sure I made my fans happy because I wanted to do anything that they wanted, and I wanted to write back to every letter and respond to every message and whatever they asked for, I wanted to give them and do because they were the reason I had the career that I have.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have the life that I have and the amazing career that I had. And
it sounds like everything you were doing online was from a place of trying to please your fans.
At this point, I'm starting to get scared by her behavior because, like, yeah, she's explaining her side of the story. But if you hurt people, you have to say sorry. Literally... She hasn't said sorry, and you can't do this without saying sorry. You can't move forward without acknowledging what you did. And I understand this is your side of the story. I love my fans. I never thought about this. I did this. I did that. I did this. But you never apologized. And again, you know, like, I'm starting to empathize with her, you know? Like, hey, call me a human being, but I'm starting to empathize with her because she's, like, telling her side of the story. So I'm like, okay, I kind of get it, you know? Like, I kind of understand why you thought that, but at the same time, it still doesn't justify your actions, and you should do better. Not only as an adult, not only as a mother, but as a content creator. You have a responsibility to your audience. It's called integrity. Is that concept too bold for you? Do you not understand integrity? Weird.
Fans and connect with your fans and
not lose them.
Why do you have that relationship with your fans? I mean, To be fair, I don't have fans, so I don't know what it's like. But at the same time, it's like, you should just be a human being. I don't know. And that's her way of being human, and that's why she needs therapy. I don't know. It's weird. Me personally, I'm thinking about the way that she connected with Adam, a child, constantly inviting him to shows, had him in group chats, had him doing unpaid labor of running her Twitter account. Adam's side of the story, it's a horror story. The fact that she will never bring that up. You know why? It's because Raven and her bitch ass wife are not educated about the topic. They were like, you know what? We're not going to educate ourselves. We're just going to bring her on. She's going to tell her side of the story. And you don't see how that's a problem.
This could look bad taken out of context. This could look like, this could make someone uncomfortable, or, you know, I wish there was someone there to kind of help guide me. But at the same time, I'm also disappointed in myself that I didn't know better.
Yes, that's the fucking issue. Sure, you had no one to guide you. Yeah, you didn't know better. But why are you thinking that way? It's not normal. That's why you need a mental health professional, not two lesbians on a podcast. I rest my case, Your Honor. And a lot of people have speculated that her Miranda Sings character was a caricature of a religious Christian girl, a Christian woman. I hope she's seeing like at least multiple therapists, because like I genuinely, there's something so wrong with her. Guys, we are 18 minutes in and I've been recording for over an hour. God, how do people do this? I'm gonna have to fucking edit this? Oh my God.
Because other people did, so why didn't I? You know, so that's something that I've had to work through, is like, why didn't I think more about this? Why didn't I think more about, you know, a parasocial relationship? But
do you have answers to those questions?
You know, I think
Why did you apologize?
it all boils down to me just really wanting to make them, the people pleasing tendency of like, I want to do this because this will make, they're begging me to
You
talk
wanted
about,
them to love you.
I wanted them to love me. I wanted them to like my content. I wanted them to be happy with what I was putting out there, because like I said, everything that I had was because they supported me. And so, you know, that's what I was trying to do, but it would have been so much better for me to think about their well-being and if this would affect anyone in a negative way. Like, that's what I wish I had done.
When did you realize that people were starting to be negatively impacted?
Oh man, there's multiple moments, because it was, like I said, it was a slow build, but like it was, I'd see people who had been fans for a long time, would come to every show, were commenting on everything that I, you know, at this point I'd recognize because I would talk to them and I knew them, and to see them slowly drop off one at a time was like, oh, they're very upset. That was painful and really sad, and I wish I had listened more when all of it happened. I was so caught up in the things that weren't true that were being said about me that I feel like I wasn't listening to the things that were true and the things that I did make mistakes doing. And
Colleen, are you listening now? Ugh.
Responsibility for those things. Instead, I was like, well, they're saying all these other things about me that are lies, and that's not true. And I was angry about those things, and I wish that...
What were the lies? What were the lies? Are the lies in the room with us? What exactly are the lies? Because I remember a certain someone, Colleen, making an apology video where she dismissed everyone's cases. And if you're thinking I'm talking about that goddamn ukulele, I'm not. There was another one where 17-year-old Adam was pretty much ostracized from his group chat that he thought were his friends. Dude, if you don't know, just go watch Adam's video. I can't recap everything, but also video of Colleen making an apology where she pretty much dismissed everything and threw Adam under the bus and was like, here's the proof, here's this, here's that. Were those lies or were you lying? There's literally so many things that you've done. We can't go through all of that.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
But Colleen, you made multiple apologies where you got called out for this same thing when Adam was 17 and you ostracized him, you threw him under the bus, the entire internet was against him because you were a giant YouTuber who's throwing a 17-year-old who used to work for you under the bus. And in that video, you were like, they're lying. Oh my god, I just remembered. Oh my god, sorry, I'm literally getting sidetracked. She sent nudes of Trisha Paytas to Adam to make fun of Trisha Paytas. And there's proof of it. There is literal proof of it. It's on Adam's channel. This is a sick individual. She knows that she did those things. If she doesn't, again, therapy is necessary. Reflection is necessary. This bitch is so nasty. I don't even... Oh my god. Guys, I'm losing my marbles. Speaking of which, pull a Jenna marbles and hit the fucking road. Those are your options. Therapy, adult comedy, and restricting everything you do to 18 plus and actually apologizing. Literally sitting down in front of the camera and saying, I'm sorry for doing these things, and list them out. And then people will decide if they want to forgive you or not. Okay, that's one route, which she's not gonna take because there's not an accountable bone in her fucking body. The other route is pull a Jenna marbles and get the fuck off the internet. You're a bad person. You're a bad mom if you don't go to therapy and fix whatever the fuck went wrong.
I had just paused and listened for a second.
There's a lot of things that were said about you. There's been allegations of grooming behavior, or how do you? What do you think they're talking about?
Raven, do you know what we're talking about? You're starting to piss me off. I guess you're getting your information straight from the source, but when the source is a manipulative, liar, delusional freak who needs therapy, the source is tainted and you're not getting true information. If you needed money that bad, I'm sure somebody could have gave it to you.
That's the one that got me the hardest. When that allegation came up, that's when I was out. I was done.
Yeah. You employed for free one of your underage fans for years. Then you, at the age of 29, 28, 27, older than me, you were in group chats with 12 and 16-year-olds. That is grooming. Grooming doesn't have to be sexual. It's just you, an adult, manipulating children to get what you want out of it. And what you want is an ego boost. It's free labor. And it's... I don't know what else. I'm scared to find out what else. But you're a fucking freak nasty bitch.
That was devastating and shocking. It was very shocking because...
Was it devastating for you? Was it devastating for you, or was it devastating for the children's lives that you affected? Get the fuck off my screen.
I know that my intention and my actions have never been fueled with the desire to manipulate or groom anybody ever. That has never been something I...
Just because you didn't intend for it to happen doesn't mean it didn't happen. That's manipulative, dismissive language. She's not healed. She's scaring me.
Done or will ever do. And it's a very serious accusation.
Very serious.
Mm-hmm. So when those...
Is what you did not very serious? Children putting their hand in your pants isn't serious? It's a serious accusation for you. I'm so sorry that you got accused of the truth. Lay underneath a steamroller while someone is operating it. Thank you.
It started being thrown around. That's when I kind of was, Hold
on, pause. We need some light. Let there be light. Oh no. Okay. Play.
I kind of shut down, and it really was, that was devastating to hear. And, you asked, what does that mean to other people? that's why this was a hard thing for me to know how to navigate, because it wasn't about what did she do or what didn't she do. It was more about what was her intention behind some of these actions, I think. And
no, that's not the argument. That's the argument in your head right now. That's not what we're concerned about. We're concerned about the truth. We're interested in what you did. And what you did is in photographs. It's in videos. It's in screenshots of text messages with your number in it. Colleen, apologize. Raven, shame on you. You should have had the screenshots, you should have had the proof, and I'm actually starting to get really pissed off.
It was being decided for me by people talking about it. My intention wasn't to hurt or do anything negative ever. Now, that doesn't mean that people weren't hurt.
Right.
And that's the part that I wish I had paid more attention to. But
You have an opportunity now to alleviate the pain that you caused by apologizing! Am I crazy? Am I being gaslit by a podcast with two lesbians and a predator? This was not on my bingo card. I wish I paid more attention to the hurt that I caused. You can by apologizing, but not once, not twice, not 3 times. You have had opportunities to apologize and clear the air, and you haven't fucking done it. What is wrong with you?
obviously didn't handle the situation the way that I should have.
You still have a chance!
It's really embarrassing. I wish that I
You're embarrassing right
could handle it a lot differently than I did.
When you say that, are you...
My blood pressure is rising. I need to be mindful for 10 seconds. Hold on. Okay, I did some deep breathing and I have a fidget. Look at him. He's just a babby. Look at him. He's just a babby. My dad 3D printed him. Okay, anyway. If you hear said noises, that's what it is. Okay, I'm calmer now. Let's hear what Crazy Amy has to say.
Motherfuckers, you all think that you can come in here and say these things? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Talking about like the apology.
Talking about a musical instrument that I should have not picked up. I'm
getting flashbacks. Chugging down the track of, I'm not a groomer, I'm just a loser. I listened to that thing so many times. I literally did not watch it on her channel, not once. I watched so many commentaries about it, so many different think pieces, that I had it memorized. And then also TikTok was blowing it up. And also this one creator, Athena P. Shout out to the bestie. Anyway, so she posted something where she was like, oh, a ukulele YouTuber apology. And that was like years before Colleen did it.
I made a video in 2019 of a ukulele YouTuber non-apology. I won't take accountability. Please just resubscribe to me. I still wanna be famous. Nothing like me. Oh. Now, I don't want to say I foresaw this. I didn't, obviously. I was commenting on another situation that was happening at the time. But the fact that this actually happened, I want to unpack with you my day yesterday because the absurdity is just still rattling around in my brain.
I was like, it's a canon event. I commented something and people are still liking it to this day because like sometimes I will get like notifications on my TikTok and I'll click on it and I'll be like, oh, I remember that. The fact that she's getting secondhand embarrassment, it's so well deserved, but at the same time, it tells me that she didn't really learn. She doesn't really give a fuck. Because she just cares about how much she put her foot in her mouth. I wonder if it's still up. Editor Kenzie, check. I'm curious.
Yes, I mean, I should have listened to what people were saying, and I should have...
I think people want an apology. I think people want for you to acknowledge...
Raven! Okay, you're winning me back. Yes, cheetah girl, yes. A broken clock can be right twice a day. You hit the nail on the fucking head, Raven, yes. And did you see the way she looked? Did you see the way she was staring at Raven for saying, I think people want an apology? I think that you're right, Raven. We do want an apology, and also, I'm not we, because, you know, I didn't really get groomed, you know, we should hear an apology to the people you actually literally affected in their daily lives. Like, you're literally re-traumatizing Adam by even popping your ugly head up and going on this podcast. Anyway, Raven, you hit the nail right on the head, and let's watch her reaction, because we have to watch her reaction too. They want an apology. Look at the way she's glaring at Raven.
Listen to what people were saying, and I should have...
I think people want an apology. I think people want for you to acknowledge the things that...
She looks like, okay, she wasn't glaring, but she was just like intensely staring, like almost as if she's scared. Why are you scared of taking accountability? Because you know that there's a possibility of legal action if you take accountability? Is that what it is? Is that the true tea? You don't want to take accountability, you don't want to say sorry because you don't want to admit that you're wrong in case that there's a lawsuit or criminal charges?
On stage, I hope that you give that to them.
I agree with you. I think that they do want an apology, and I am sorry. And here's the thing, is when you mess up and when you make a mistake and do something wrong, sometimes you got to keep apologizing for it.
Apologizing. Did you not hear me? I said apology counter 1. That's your first apology. You posted a video slandering 17-year-old Adam. Then you posted a ukulele non-apology. Then you're on the podcast where 23 minutes in and you said, I'm sorry once.
That's what I should have done. Like, and people keep saying it's an apology song. I didn't apologize in that thing.
You did not.
I did not.
You know what?
There
you are
was
correct.
no
You did not
sorry
apologize.
In that.
You did not. I was actually laughing.
Wait, Raven actually watched the video? Okay. I'll give her more credit. You know what? She probably only watched the video. She probably didn't watch Adam's. I don't want to say that because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because, like, she's iconic.
So you know, that was some crazy penmanship.
We also wouldn't, in watching it, I remember one of the things that we talked about was it felt like you were angry.
Yeah,
and,
I was.
And burnt out and just
fed up.
Yeah, fed up.
I was.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that I was angry. And that's why I keep saying I wish that I had just paused for a second and listened to my fans, to my supporters.
And process.
Because while there were things being said about me that weren't true.
A broken clock can be right twice a day. I think Crazy Amy is right. I think she should process what happened with a mental health professional, not by herself, not with her family, not with her friends, not with her husband, definitely not with her kids.
My people who would support me for so many years that I'm up here saying, like, I just wanted them to be happy. I wanted to make them happy. Well, they wanted an explanation. They wanted to understand what was going on. And they deserved that. And I didn't give it to them. Instead, I was angry and sang a song, and which is crazy.
It blew shit up.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was.
I'm aware.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. That was crazy, bro.
Absolutely crazy. And I think, you know, when the dust did settle, because I like you were saying, I did want to address it, and I was being told. I got a lot of advice from a lot of people, and the majority of the advice was don't say anything. And I'm sure you know from being in the industry for so long.
All the time.
I get that. Wait, was Raven about to tell her wife to shut up? Wait, hold on.
Don't say nothing.
Right.
Yes.
Don't
literally stop talking. Stop talking. Literally. Crazy Amy, stop talking. Anyway, but also she was like, I do owe them an explanation. Where's the explanation? Is this the explanation? Is the explanation coming? Apology tracker? We got one. So.
Address it, don't say anything, it will just make it worse. Don't address it, don't say anything, it'll just make it worse. But I'm in a different position than a traditional celebrity because...
Guys, pause. Look at the likes. Okay.
I was so open and I talked about everything. I mean, I've talked about everything. Like that I've been through, my mental health and my births and my pregnancies and my journey to fame. Like, I mean, everything I've been through, I've talked about online very openly. And so you know, my audience, that was one of the reasons they liked watching me. And so then to suddenly be like, not only am I not going to talk about this, I'm going to sing this song about it. And like, and it was such a
You're a mess.
choice.
It was such a choice.
I very much.
Such a choice, bro.
Yes. And so I think, you know, I was like getting so frustrated because I was just like, let me just address this. Like, please let me just talk. I just want to talk about this. And so finally after I posted the video, it was shortly after I posted it, I was talking to someone on the phone from my team. And I was like, oh, that was a huge mistake.
Guys, I didn't see the comment, like it just flashed on the screen, but it said like timestamp 28 minutes or something, or 23 minutes, and it was like she said that she regretted posting the ukulele apology, yet she kept it up. I didn't read the whole thing because there was more stuff after that, but like I'm wondering if she actually did keep it up. Oh my god.
Was really stupid. It was like there was so much, I have to say something, and finally I let it out.
What does regret feel like?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Because because you want to fix it, and you can't fix it. And that's the worst. Like, I wanted to fix it so bad, and there was no fixing it. There was nothing I could do to fix it. And that was so awful. That was because not only did I not address anything that I wanted to address, not only did I not, you know, dispute the lies that I wanted to dispute, and I just made...
Guys, oh man, I missed it. It was just at 677. I paused the video for nothing. I'm sorry. You can dislike the video and go now. I'm sorry. I'm a bad YouTuber. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anything that I wanted to address, not only did I not, you know, dispute the lies that I wanted to dispute, and I just made things worse. It was so bad.
So where do you think your mind went during that time that you were so unable, I guess, to have the perspective you have now?
Were you trying to save a character? Were you trying to save yourself? Were you just like
completely
blacked out in
kind
anger?
of disconnected from it, and you're like, I'm just going to do this because I'm pissed?
I feel like it was a little bit of all of it. I mean, it was really overwhelming to, you know, have these words thrown around.
I feel like genuinely they literally only watched the ukulele apology. I feel like they just watched it together and then they psychoanalyzed it, and then now we're here and they were like, oh, we have a platform. Let's invite her on and get her side of the story. Guys, you don't know the other side of the story. Unless we're bringing up receipts, proof, timelines, evidence, I feel like this is a failure of a podcast.
In connection to me and my name that are really horrible. I mean, that's a horrible thing to be and to be accused of when you know that you are not that. Especially because, in my opinion, that's one of the worst things a person can be. Probably.
It's not accusations. It's in photos. It's in videos. It happened.
And so to be accused of that, knowing that I'm not that.
Are you speaking of grooming?
Grooming. Grooming and in any way harming
children.
Yeah. Is the opposite of something or...
You can't say that you didn't harm people when people are telling you that you harmed them. You're so manipulative. You're so dismissive. Why can't you see that? Raven, shame on you. Do your research. Again, this is why I think that influencers are so disconnected from the general public, because they will see people talking, the discourse, and they'll be like, yeah, these are all just haters, hate comments. I want to see their side of the story. No, we are people. We are valid. Just because we don't have a huge, massive platform doesn't mean that our opinions don't matter. And you're acting like that's true when it's not. And also, listen to the hate comments. Look at the discourse. Look at the photos. You did these things. It's not he said, she said. It's not alleged. You did it. It's photographed.
It was devastating. It still is. And and you know, that's something that will
It'll follow you around.
It will.
It will follow you around.
It will.
There were moments in your live shows where there were children brought up on stage and you were, as Showbiz says,
She did her research. Okay. Raven's winning me back. Oh my God.
in a lot of moments. However, looking back at moments, there is another person on the internet who is saying that when she went up on stage for your live show, she was a part of the yoga challenge section of your show. And it made them feel gross. Later in life, they were SA'd, and when they look back at that moment with you, they feel similar feelings. Can you dive a little bit deeper into what happened at the yoga challenge?
It was a challenge on YouTube for a while for people to try out different yoga poses. Like couples would do it together because if you're not experienced in yoga, it's difficult to do. And so since I'm a YouTuber on my live show, sometimes I would do challenges from YouTube. So I did that challenge and I'd have people come up on stage and we would try out different yoga poses that popped up on the screen. And obviously we could never do them and I would be, flailing about as Miranda. And there was one pose where there are two people and both legs are spread open, you're holding each other's legs. And I genuinely never thought of it as a sexual or inappropriate thing. To me, the joke was that when the legs were open to do the pose, the fart sound effect came on screen. So it was like, once the legs opened up, there was a fart sound. And to me, that was all I thought that joke was. I never knew that was something that would make someone feel uncomfortable and trigger emotions and feelings. I feel terrible about that. Genuinely, when I heard about that, I felt so bad because that is something I'd never want to do, is trigger anyone, but especially a girl who's been through horrible things in that manner. Like that, it feels so terrible that me doing this silly yoga joke, in my mind, was a silly yoga joke, could be something that could trigger her in such a negative way and affect her in such a negative way. And it's awful. And
I'm sorry.
I'm really proud of anyone who's been able to come forward and express that, because I want kids and minors and anyone to be able to feel like they can speak up if they're uncomfortable, and they can speak up about things that they feel are not okay. They need to be able to feel that way. Certainly, the things that I've done in my comedy in the past, like there's so many things I look back and go, oh my God, I would never do that. Now I can't believe I did that. And it was for the laugh. You're on stage and it is different than when you're online and you can read comments from people who go, hey, that's not cool. And you can go, oh crap. When you're on stage, everyone's...
Oh, like the JoJo Siwa video where you're twerking with underage JoJo Siwa. We're talking about that. People comment on that saying that's inappropriate.
I'm so sick of that!
She's just gonna keep saying the wrong thing over and over and over again. Like, I don't know.
Laughing and enjoying it and then telling you after, that was the best part of the show when you did this, this, and this. And a lot of the comedy that I did with Miranda, when my audience shifted, I was like, okay, how do I keep this audience that liked this crass humor and now appealed to this younger audience that now is growing so much? And my solution to that was, I will still do these more crass innuendo type jokes and it'll go over the kids' heads, and then the parents will have something to laugh at and the adults will have something to laugh at that are in the audience. And that was my solution to that.
That was you rectifying what was going on stage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought, well, everyone knows that I'm a safe person and I don't mean anything negative by this. I was like, well, everyone knows this is in jest, and so it's fine for me to do this.
You held a child's legs open on stage. Not a joke anymore.
The crass jokes will go over the kids' heads and the adults will laugh at it, and that is how it seemed to me. I didn't think more about how that could be affecting the younger people in the audience.
Do you feel like you have a different perspective now between, let's say, like bad judgment and harmful behavior?
I definitely do. Yeah, I certainly think that and especially now, now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children. And I wish that I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like, everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
Did parents ever confront you after? Did you ever get any kind of interaction with an adult who said, this didn't feel good for me and my child?
No, I never did personally. I don't know if someone got that message and I never received it. The only complaint I ever remember receiving in that way, in person from a live show or anything, was at the beginning of my shows, I used to do a ukulele song. Where I would,
damn ukulele.
I know, where I would sing the hate comments that I received. And there was hate comments, so there was a lot of bad language, and the comments were on the screen, and I would sing them. And we did get some complaints about that. They were like, you're saying bad words, like in the first 5 minutes of the show, and I have my young kid here, whatever. And so then I changed it. I bleeped the words on the screen, and I bleeped the audio of it too, so that you couldn't hear or see it. And we also changed on the website everywhere, like, this is a PG-13 show, like, making sure everyone knew that this was not a kid show, because I got that complaint. And so I don't know if we were getting that complaint and it was stopped before it got to me or not, but
Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, still impressionable young minds.
I never received a complaint like that. And in fact, I was usually told, oh my gosh, these jokes that were, they didn't get it, but it was so funny when I can't believe, it was always the shock of like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you did that. And I was always told that it was all funny, and it was so ridiculous and over the top. And
time is interesting. Time is really interesting, because if you go back in time for entertainment, there's been many a comedian, many a entertainer that has done things in their early career that when they look back on, they wish they didn't, because culture changes. While people were laughing with you and quote unquote at you because of the character, it must feel so like two-faced for you, for all these people who were laughing with you, and then all of a sudden
have them turn against you.
Yes, it's painful to see people who supported me and laughed with me and all this stuff suddenly turn and change their mind about it. But I don't blame anyone but me for, I completely blame myself, especially because I know that people do make mistakes, and people can learn and grow and change. And one of my biggest mistakes was not listening and addressing things and taking responsibility.
And playing the ukulele.
Yeah, I'm playing that damn ukulele.
So I just don't want you to forget that.
I will never, trust me, I will never forget that.
Just make sure.
I went to a fair with my husband and kids, and they had these like colorful little kid ukuleles. And I was like, oh, I want to get one for one of our kids. And my husband was like, no. And I didn't even register to me, which is crazy because I always think about it. And I was like, no, what? He's like, do you have something to put it in? I was like, I'll just carry it. And he goes, no, we're in a public place. No. And I was like, what's wrong? And he was like, you cannot hold a ukulele that is hot pink and walk around a fair. Are you insane? And I was
and you're like, yes,
I am. And also, thank you, because I was about to do it. I just didn't, I don't know how I didn't think about it, because I think about it all the time and how like, oh, I'm like, God, I really like that instrument. I can never play it again. It's like, but it was just, anyway, let's get back to it.
We know you like it. We know.
I just got distracted.
Now, this is a live show. My apologies for never going and seeing the entire thing.
No
but
worries.
if you could explain why there is a clip of YouTube of a little boy eating Cheetos out of your pants. Could you explain that for the audience, please?
Pulling Cheetos. That makes it sound more egregious. Like he's physically eating out of her pants. He wasn't. He was taking one.
Oh, he was taking see? That's how things get twisted.
Right. Yeah.
So could you explain?
They didn't do their research. It's not hard. Did she hire people to like delete all this shit? Because I found that shit. It wasn't hard. It's right here. It's photographic evidence, and she did that multiple times. As I didn't do their research.
Explain it, please.
Well, I mean, what a crazy thing to hear, that there's a woman on stage and there's a young person taking food out of her pants and eating it on stage. I mean, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. A lot of the joke with Miranda was that I would say and do things that were inappropriate or had some sort of sexual innuendo to them or something like that, and it went over the character's head. Like, Miranda was not aware that she was saying something that could be taken the wrong way. That was...
And you don't see why you need to apologize for this, and this? And you don't see why you need to go to therapy and see at least one mental health professional? You don't see that? Maybe you do. I don't know.
A lot of the jokes that I did, it's the character. And so in that particular part of the show that I did, it was probably 8 to 10 years ago that I used to do that bit. Miranda was teaching the audience how to sneak food into the movie theater. And so I stuffed a big bag of cheese balls in my pants. Now, I was wearing layers of clothing because throughout the show, I put more clothes on over my clothes on stage. When I transitioned from me into Miranda, I, in front of everyone, put on more clothes. So I'm wearing lots of layers of clothing, and then there's the cheese balls in a bag and in my pants. And so initially I would bring up an adult, and I'd start eating the snack as we're, quote unquote, watching this movie. And then I'd say, do you want a snack? And then they would take a cheese ball from the top of the bag and eat it. It was supposed to be like, she doesn't realize how inappropriate this looks. And then, you know, there's a clip, like you said, of when a younger person came on stage and did that with me.
Multiple. Not just one, multiple. And those people haven't come forward yet. We don't know if they felt embarrassed, traumatized. We don't know what was going through their head. And that happened multiple times.
And the audience is laughing because, and you could see my reaction, like, this is a weird situation that I'm in here, but it got a big laugh and everyone knew that.
Do you think that this face says that I'm in an uncomfortable position? I'm in an uncomfortable situation right now? Do you think this face and then taking that screenshot and then posting it on your own Twitter says I'm uncomfortable? Or does that say, I like this behavior, I'm going to do it again and again and again and again, and it doesn't matter how many people tell me I'm wrong or that this is disgusting, I'm going to keep acting like this? You're sick.
This is me trying to, you know, rationalize, that's the word, yes, rationalize the situation. But shortly after, like, I mean, I'd say within a year of doing that joke, I cut it because I was like, I think this
within a year of doing that joke, you what?
Cut it, like I stopped doing it.
Okay.
Because it was, I mean, my fans were, a lot of them were younger at this point. So I was like, you know, I'm not, obviously this joke is not, I'm not gonna do this anymore. It's not working, it's not appropriate. And so I cut that. I regret doing that. I should have never brought kids up on stage, even though the joke was that Miranda doesn't know that this is inappropriate and the audience is like, it doesn't matter. I should have been like, if I'm gonna do this joke, it's in my adult show that I'm doing with adults that are consenting and know that this is the joke, that Miranda doesn't understand that this could look bad.
So you have admitted to sending lingerie to an underage fan. And I know you've talked about this before, but I would like to ask you one more time to address this and kind of what happened and how you're feeling about it now.
Yeah, what an idiot. Is how I feel about it now.
How many times, oh my god, like, this is the part that gets me. How many times can you say, I didn't know, I should have known better, I wish I had someone tell me, I'm an idiot, I'm ashamed, I shouldn't have done that? How many times can you make these excuses and not realize that there is a literal timeline? There is band for band, proof for proof evidence of your inappropriate behavior. Are you in therapy? I need you to answer that question. If they don't ask that question, I feel like they should. I feel like they should. And I don't feel like that's crossing any boundaries because, you know, like, how is she supposed to get better? She's not going to jail. She's not getting sued. She's not getting any charges pressed against her. We need to know that she's going to therapy and fixing her issues to hold her accountable. And also, she needs to literally apologize for everything on the bullet point list, because at this point, there's no excuse not to. You know what you're doing, and now you know that you're wrong. Now, 10 years later. Now. Okay.
I think it was like 10 years ago, something like that. I was doing a live stream, and I always loved giving away gifts to my fans online. So I would send them like a bobby pin of Miranda's or a lipstick of Miranda, an old shirt, you know. Usually it was to encourage them to donate to a charity event that I would do every year. But I loved giving out stuff. And so I was doing a live stream like I did pretty often, and I was opening up a box of clothes that I had bought, and in it was this underwear bra set that I didn't order, and it was we were all laughing about it. So everyone in the chat was laughing about it, me and my friend, and he actually put it on over his clothes and was like, look at this, and we were laughing about it. And there are people in the comments saying, oh, send that to me, send that one to me. And we were like, we're not going to do that, that's crazy. But then there's one fan in particular who kept asking us to send it, and I was like, obviously you can tell in the live, like I'm like hesitant about it because there is a little bit of brains in there somewhere that was like, maybe not, because I hesitated. But then I was like, and I didn't send it. I didn't. But then it was just became an inside joke with the fandom, and everyone was like telling me to send it, and he kept asking for it. It was like months of this. And so finally I did, and it was very public and as a joke. And it was like a...
You are saying yourself right now that you had inappropriate boundaries with many of your young fans, because me as an adult, if a group of children were like, send me this, I'd be like, no, go away. No, hard no, leave me alone. And you can blame that on people pleasing, you can blame that on past trauma, you can blame that on whatever, but the fact that you did it is the problem, and the fact that you're not apologizing for it is another problem.
My brain was missing an action of like, hey, this is not a good idea, this looks bad. It wasn't a pair of my... Right. Something that I sent to a young fan in a inappropriate way, but it was inappropriate. Like, why would what part of me thought like, everyone will know this is a silly joke in the fandom? Like, that was, I wish I'd never done that. That was so inappropriate. And if he was made to feel uncomfortable because of that, like, I feel terrible, and I'm so sorry, because that was not my intention with that. I thought it was like a silly inside joke with the whole fandom. It was all very public, and it was... I thought it was a silly thing, and it was so stupid.
It's also difficult, I think, in that specific situation when you feel like you're being given permission, if you will, because everyone is saying kind of the same thing. Everyone seems in on the joke.
But everyone is children.
Everyone seems to understand it. Everyone is saying, send it, send it. And then you have this person not dropping it after that, but continuing the conversation weeks after this has happened. I can see where... you don't think about potential.
Hey, Miranda, do you have a group chat of your fans? Doesn't matter what age they are. Are you talking to your fans consistently? This is not only inappropriate on a adult child level, it's also inappropriate on a famous person, group of not famous people level. That's just not okay. It's really just not okay. And I don't think there's any excusing it. Apologize. Now. Immediately.
Because in that moment, it feels pure.
And you're not sending it in a sexual manner.
No. Well, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, like, it was my responsibility to know, yeah, I shouldn't send this. This could look really bad. And this could make people uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yes.
That's where, even though it doesn't matter how many people were egging it on or asking for it or begging for it and thinking it was so funny and everyone, you know, it seems like this joke, I should have taken a second and been like, maybe send a bobby pin. Yeah. You know, like, this is not the thing to send to someone. This is not something
not a bobby pin. A silver one or a black one?
Well, I think I usually use the black ones.
Yeah,
for Miranda,
the brown one, that's
black,
cute.
Reds.
Something else Colleen, that has come up and been discussed is the fact that you would participate in group chats with your fans, and there were
something just came into my mind, and I wasn't even thinking. Are we gonna address the racism? You know what? I watched so many videos about this shit where I was like, okay, like when I keep hearing more and more stuff about it, it's putting me back in that headspace, and I'm just like, oh wait, yeah, this happened and this happened. Are we gonna talk about the racism? I can't remember who she was being racist to. I don't think she said any slurs. She might have. I'll put it up here if I can find it. Miranda doing incredibly racist things? Are we gonna talk about that?
minors in those chats, and there would be questions regarding their virginity and sex positions.
Right.
Inappropriate questions are being asked to underage people. What was going on?
That's true. It's completely inappropriate. And I used to do this weekly question and answer thing with my audience. And that particular group chat was full of a bunch of different fans of all ages.
Why do you have multiple group chats?
They were crass and funny and ridiculous, and they would, whenever I asked for questions for my channel, they would ask me questions like that. They would ask me questions they knew I wouldn't answer that were over the top.
So she's pretty much just blaming it on the group chat now, right?
True. It's completely inappropriate. And I used to do this weekly question and answer thing with my audience. And that particular group chat was full of a bunch of different fans of all ages, but they were crass and funny and ridiculous, and they would, whenever I asked for questions for my channel, they would ask me questions like that. They would ask me questions they knew I wouldn't answer that were over the top, inappropriate. So when one of them, which this part of the conversation is now deleted, those parts of the conversations are deleted or gone or somehow, I don't know, but when they asked for questions for theirs, I was trying to do the same jokes that they had just previously been doing with me. Stupid and inappropriate. Shouldn't have done it. I feel really embarrassed and stupid. And
did you know they were underage at the time?
I knew that there were teenagers in the chat. Yeah, I did know that. And I also thought, well, they all know I'm not serious. I don't want the answers to these questions. They all know that I'm just joking around like they do this to me, and they know I'm not going to answer the questions. I know they don't want the answers.
This is why I know her family's fucked up. Because why would you think that you, a 30-year-old woman who has a very successful career where you are famous and people are your fans, why do you think you are on the same level of responsibility, of immaturity as a group of teenagers? You have nothing in common with them.
I thought like this was, it was clear between all of us that like I was joking. I didn't actually want this information from this person. Mm-hmm. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny to ask a really absurd, crazy question. And there were a bunch of questions I asked. Those were just a few of the awful ones that I did. And I should have never done that. That was crazy of me.
It wasn't in a grooming fashion.
Absolutely not. It was in a stupid fashion. It was in a, like, I shouldn't.
For the laugh?
For the laugh. I thought it would make them laugh. I thought they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Ha ha ha. Like how they did with me often. They were very funny, that group chat of all these different fans. They were very funny, very dedicated, wonderful people.
So why are you in the group chat with them?
Being one of the kids.
Yeah, right.
And you had forgotten.
Yeah,
so
right.
You were acting more like one of your kid viewers versus remembering that you were actually the adult in the chat.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And that...
What in your brain told you, good idea. Make multiple group chats full of kids. Text them all day. Joke with them all day. Use them for free labor. What told you to do that?
To the power dynamic that you had referenced earlier, where you kind of had lost the awareness of that relationship or dynamic.
There was no part of me that was wanting that information truly from them. I wasn't trying to get anything out of them. I was just trying to be like one of them, which is embarrassing to admit because that was not my responsibility in that time. I was trying to be silly like them and be their friend, when in reality I was the one who's supposed to be the responsible one. I was the adult there that should have never participated in that.
Why were you trying to be friends with kids?
Conversation, and should have never joked with him about that kind of stuff. There's the power dynamic there, that parasocial relationship that I wasn't thinking about, which was irresponsible of me. Like, I should have been thinking about that, and I should have removed myself from that chat immediately when they were joking about things that were inappropriate. I shouldn't have ever participated in those conversations. And it was rare that I was in there talking to them, but that is one of the moments where I did interact, and I wish that I hadn't.
Let's talk about JoJo for a second. So we know JoJo. You
What
know
up, Jo?
JoJo. You became friends with her when she was how old?
I first met JoJo, I think she was 11 when I met her and her mom for dinner, because JoJo was a fan, and she and another girl from the Dance Moms show wanted to meet me, so I went to dinner with them.
Some people will say that that was an inappropriate friendship for you two to develop since she was 11 and you were an adult. But thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look at it as a friendship at first. She was 11.
Yeah.
And I looked at it as a sweet young girl. I loved the show she was on, and she liked my videos and looked up to me, and she wanted to meet me. And to me, I wasn't looking at it as like becoming best friends with her when I met her. It was just a sweet meeting. And then she's a hustler. You guys know JoJo. She immediately was like, well, I had a video called Colleen's Corner that I answered questions every week. So she did JoJo's Juice to do the same kind of, she kind of looked at me as like a mentor, someone she looked up to. And, I don't want to speak for JoJo, though. It feels weird talking about this without her here, but she can say this herself if she wants. But, so over time we became friends because...
Let's talk about JoJo for a second, shall we? JoJo's mom is incredibly manipulative. The way that their dynamic works is disturbing. She, like Ryan's toy reviews, how he's like still doing toy reviews even though he's like 12. That's JoJo with her kid era. She was doing the rainbows, the bows. She was doing that until like way too long to be doing that. And then her mom and her PR team were like, it's okay, JoJo, you can rebrand now. And then JoJo went off the fucking deep end because now she's an adult. Now she has her bodily autonomy. Now she has her rights. And now she's repeating the behavior that was pushed on her. Inappropriate behavior with Abby, inappropriate behavior with her mom, inappropriate behavior with Colleen Ballinger and her sister. And now JoJo is doing inappropriate behavior with kids, with her dance team. Awesome. The cycle of abuse continues. Stopping the cycle of abuse is being aware of every single part that you have in it. It's hard. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of mental focus, and it takes a lot of undoing the damage that was caused to you. But it's the most fulfilling thing that you could ever go through in life. And if you haven't done it already, I implore you to reflect. Not just Colleen, not just Raven, not just Raven's bitch-ass wife, not just JoJo, her mom, Abby Miller, but all of you. Because we're all human beings, and we are all going through our own cycle of abuse. And genuinely, it's the only way to move forward. Reflect. Just reflect.
We want to collaborate. And so we'd get together and make videos together.
Which is also very common for YouTubers and fellow people in the world to want to collaborate and get to know each other, feed off each other's videos.
Right. So, yes, we became friends, but it always felt more like a family thing because I'm a big family person. Like, I love my family. I'm always with my family. We're always hanging out. We're always having family gatherings. And I think that, again, I don't want to speak for her, but, she liked to come.
I think there was inappropriate boundaries and inappropriate things happening in your family, and I think that you should take some time to look at that.
Over to our family gatherings and hang out with my family where we'd be playing games and eating pizza with my parents, and sometimes her mom and her brother would come, or dad. Like, it was a very family.
They're a big family. The Siwas are a big family.
And my brother and all his kids were there. So he's got 6 kids, and they'd all be there, and we'd all be playing. The kids would be putting on performances, and we'd all be laughing and playing it. So it always felt very like sisterly friends. And yes, now that she's older, and I would definitely consider her one of my close friends, and I love her dearly, and I admire her so much. I think she's incredible. I was very involved with talking with her mother all the time and making sure her mom knew when we were hanging out, and her mom was like, I'm friends with her mom.
JoJo's mom is a whole nother piece of work that I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I can't go through that. But JoJo's mom is a downright nasty bitch. I don't like JoJo's mom at all. What kind of a person raises their child like that? Like, JoJo right now is a fucked up individual. She's fucked up. And the only people who could have caused that are the people who raised her and the people who groomed her into being a productivity machine. JoJo's a hustler. Yeah, because she was groomed to be a hustler. Because she was always thinking about how to milk more money out of her child audience when she was a child. Why? God. JoJo's a fucked up individual.
That's all very shocking to me that people look at us being friends as... I mean, I guess it makes sense considering the allegations that have come up against me, but I think...
Not only does it make sense because of your allegations and your pattern, it makes sense for JoJo's pattern. And the two of you together, it's like cold wind from the north and hot wind from the south. We're creating a shitstorm tornado, guys. Brace for impact.
JoJo's amazing, and she's like a sister to me, and I'll stand by that forever. There's nothing weird or inappropriate about our friendship or our relationship. She is amazing. She's my sister, and I have a sister, and she's like a sister to her as well. And JoJo doesn't have a sister, and she's excited that now she calls us her sister. So yeah, it's never
weird. It's weird.
Been a weird or inappropriate thing.
Even though YouTube is a community of non-celebrity and celebrity people coming together and uploading videos, it has become an industry of its very own.
Totally. Yes.
And within an industry of entertainment, which is what YouTube is now, people are going to interact of all different backgrounds and all different ages.
Sure.
And there are so many YouTube kids that are not on YouTube because they're doing it themselves. They have their parents there with them. Right. And we know Jess as well. We know the family.
Ooh, wait.
Is
she cooking? Chad, is she cooking? Chad, Raven's been kind of like... You know what? I'll give her props where props are due, because, like, she's kind of on it. She's also kind of off it, though.
Ever be a time where Jess is not aware of what JoJo is doing.
Yeah.
And I want to keep people aware that we really do have to be careful in how we throw stones at people when we don't know the entire story. When there is a culture within the entertainment industry that not a lot of people understand.
Mm-hmm. So much has happened, and I can only imagine that having to absorb and internalize all of this.
Low-key, I'm throwing stones because the picture that I am seeing is quite disturbing. Sure, I don't know the full picture, but if someone shows you enough of a picture where you're like, yeah, that's blood, that's a knife, that's a severed head, you know, you start to get... You don't really need to see the rest of the picture. What you see is kind of terrible already, you know? That was a weird analogy. I hope you get it.
A lot of it must have made you have to change. I want to know about some of these changes you've gone through since the height of the controversy.
Well, I'm much more anxious now. And I've been through so much therapy. And I also just think I go into kind of everything with a different perspective than I did before. I mean, when I responded to everything, I was really thinking about the whole situation from my perspective, obviously. Like, these people have shifted their opinion who were laughing with me and now they're not. And instead of thinking about, like, well, why? I was like, that's not fair, you know, which was the wrong reaction.
You have a very immature mindset, and that's why... I mean, like, I know she said she's going to therapy, and she probably is talking about her family and inappropriate boundaries and why she thought that. But, you know, I'm just analyzing here. The picture that has been painted has not been great. And the fact that this pattern of abuse is there at all is disturbing. It's disturbing. The Cheeto Puffs, the yoga challenge, the group chats, the lingerie, the racism, the inappropriate jokes from Miranda, the childlike state that Miranda is in. Sure, it's a character, but it comes from your mind, and you need to power wash that part of your brain, because it's nasty. It's nasty. It's gross.
And so now I look at things a lot differently, just in general in life, you know. Even if I feel I have been wronged in any way or whatever, my go-to now isn't like that person's wronged me. It's what are they going through? Why did they say that? What's the root here? Because I think with everything that I went through and everything that I was canceled for, I was so caught up in the things that weren't true, and well, they're missing the context of this, so and that was taken out of context there, and this was deleted from this, and I wanted to explain everything and prove that I wasn't this horrible person, this monster. But like in my response, I kind of proved I was kind of like
dismissive.
Yeah, dismissive. And so I've learned to take a beat and try to hear what people are actually saying. Because yes, there's going to be all the noise. And even when you're just having a little tiff with your partner, they're going to say they're mad about things they're not really. And it's important to try to like sift through the crazy and get to like, what's the root here?
I just saw the comment again. Someone said that the ukulele video is still up. She's learned nothing.
Why is this person hurt?
Yeah.
And how can I help them to feel better? And how can I explain this in the right way to help them feel safe and okay when they're not feeling good?
Well, that mindset definitely comes with maturity. Mm-hmm. That's something that we all have to learn. That's something that people aren't born with. That comes from trial and error. That comes from trauma. Mm-hmm. And that comes from a situation like what you have been through. Knowing that this lives online forever, how are you going to explain this to your children?
That's part of the reason why I'm here now. I kind of was of the mindset for so long, like, I just don't want to talk about it. I'm extremely non-confrontational, and I'm very anxious, and I will do absolutely.
Is that why you posted a vlog on your channel, crying to Taylor Swift's song Canceled? Now, I don't have time to talk about Taylor Swift. I personally think she's out of touch, and she's a billionaire, and there's no ethical way to become a billionaire. She is manipulating and abusing her audience for money, but hey, to each their own. If you want to give her your money, that's up to you. I don't give a fuck, and I never will give her money. Anyway. Never have, never will. I did own the Red album when I had an iPod Touch back in the day, but my dad pirated it. So, yeah, never have, never will give her any money. Fuck that bitch.
Anything to avoid a confrontation or avoid someone being upset with me or to a fault. It's not something I love about myself. It's something that gets me in trouble. And so I don't want to continue to bring it up for people that they don't it might hurt them, or I just feel like people have said how they feel about me, and I'm just gonna back away because that's what I think that people want at this point. It's kind of how I felt.
You are coming back around to not say take me in again,
no,
but you're coming back around to say I know what I did, I know what I need to change, I'm changing. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me,
right?
But you recognize what happened, and that takes a lot of fucking courage.
I obviously would.
I can give her props where props are due. I can accept this half-ass apology. When your sibling hits you in the face as a kid, and then your parents go, "Say sorry!" and then they go, "Sorry." I can accept that half-ass apology, and I'll move on. There is a way to move on from this. The internet is very forgiving. People do way worse stuff all the time. It's actually happening every second of every day. This kid who's fucking microdosing meth and taking steroids and telling 14-year-olds to take steroids, and he has a platform. I mean, also Aiden Ross has a platform, and Sneeko still has a platform, and Jack Doherty still has a platform. You know, the internet's a cesspool, and you're welcome to join if you want, if you're going to be on that side of history, but we'll accept this half-ass apology with the sorry counter at 2, and this video is almost over. Thank God. There's only 10 minutes left. We fucking did it, boys. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Let's go. Let's go. And I only got a little bit mad. I'm pretty proud of myself.
I could go back and do everything differently in my reactions to this whole situation.
I wish you could too.
I feel terrible that I made anyone feel anything other than happy and safe in our little community online. That's all I ever wanted, and I feel so terrible that I disappointed so many people. And I'm genuine.
Okay. Bye.
Can't even talk.
You're okay. Take a beat.
Stressed.
The silence is deafening. Oh my God.
I should have thought a lot more about my interactions with my fans and how it could affect them. I should have been more responsible and thought about how these things could affect people, especially, you know, the teenagers that were interacting with me. And I'm so now, in hindsight, like grateful and proud of these people for coming forward and saying like, hey, this is not okay behavior. Because even though I know...
Dude, like, I don't know, bro. If I was Adam, I would still be so pissed. And I know he is pissed because his fucking title to his video is Colleen Ballinger Will Never Apologize. Which, Adam, to give her props, she did say I'm sorry twice. So I'm literally just joking because I'm so far removed from this situation. I know that he is livid because he has been through this more than I have. I am not in the situation. I'm not going to have the same reaction as him. I am an outsider. I'm viewing this with an outside lens, trying to be objective with everything except for Raven-Symoné's bitch-ass wife. I don't know what it is. There's something about her that rubs me the wrong way. Anyway, if I was Adam, I'd be livid because why are you not being like, Adam McIntyre, I'm sorry for what I did to you. Is it that hard? Say, I'm sorry for putting you in the group chats. Send a private message? Send an email? You sent him Trisha Paytas's nudes. And that's how I know they didn't do their research, because they're not bringing that up. There was literal proof of that. Adam literally had proof of that. He brought up the screenshots. I'm not even joking. That happened. So.
That I never wanted to hurt anyone, and my intentions and my desires were nothing negative in my interactions with these people. That needed to be said. They needed to say, like, hey, this isn't okay, because there are people out there who they do have the intentions to hurt them, and they need to be able to say, like, this isn't okay, and I'm not standing for this.
Like your brother. That's also how I know they didn't do their research. They brought up Becky, but they didn't bring up Oliver. Oliver literally got groomed by Colleen Ballinger's brother. It's like the Dream SMP, where it's like, hey, like, let's meet up, like, let's do this, let's talk really inappropriate, disgusting, sexually charged conversations with a child. That's what Colleen's brother did to her child audience, not just Oliver. It was multiple people. They didn't bring that up, and that's how I know they didn't do their fucking research again. Guys, I'm gonna give you credit. You did a little bit more research than I thought you would, but still not enough.
And like, my heart was in the right place. It doesn't matter if people felt uncomfortable. I'm proud of them for saying, like, this wasn't okay and this made me uncomfortable. Or
you're proud of who? Say you're proud of Adam for coming forward because it was hard for him and you're re-traumatizing him. Say, I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry I did that to you. You're a strong, brave individual, and if I were you, I would never forgive me.
It's not an okay thing to joke about or whatever. That needed to happen. And I hope that anyone interacting with anyone online, whether it be a celebrity or a new friend or anyone, goes into it with that caution up.
A new friend? Please don't let them be underage.
What are these person's intentions? And assuming they're negative going into it, I feel like is a good thing to protect them from
Real predators.
Real
Yeah.
predators
Real
who actually do
predators.
want to hurt them.
I'd be curious.
Real predators like your brother. I understand that Ethan Klein and Hila are Zionists now. That's why I wouldn't want to watch the podcast that they did with all three of the victims telling their stories. But it's literally in one fucking video. Actually, I think they did multiple videos. But it's there for you. It's compiled. It's right there. You didn't do your research. And the research is a fucking video. How hard is it to sit down? Oh my god. It's really not that hard. I did it. I'm here. This is my first YouTube video. Look at me go. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm not proud of Raven. This was mid at best.
To know your
This was mid research at best, Raven. Shame on you.
thoughts on what you think your spirit is here to learn. Because what you've had to endure
It's a big learning lesson.
is a huge, it's a master
What do you think your spirit is here to learn? Crazy Amy, what the fuck do you mean by that?
class beyond. And it has, I think, brought you to your knees. It has made you, as you said, more anxious. It's shifted your perspective. You had to take 2 years away. You haven't been online. I mean, it really kind of changed.
She has been online. Are you guys fucking stupid? She's literally been online the whole time. And a few times she literally, said negative things about her cancellation. She isn't learning. She hasn't learned. Do you do your research? Oh my god.
So, what do you think the lesson is for your soul, your being on Earth right now?
There are so many lessons.
I believe that we have souls. I believe in the universe. I'm not going to get into all my beliefs. But that is crazy to say in this situation. Not only in this situation, but at all. What do you think the lesson is? Why did you get put on this earth? What do you think the lesson is? She doesn't even know what she did was grooming. How do you think do you think she's in tune with her fucking soul? You think she's sitting there at the beach with her rocks, her rock tumbling fucking... Ooh, that shit pissed me off so bad. Her fucking little rock tumbling hobby. You think she's sitting there getting in touch with her fucking shit? She's not. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And it's so bold of you to assume that she does.
And the things that I've learned and reflected on and thought about over the last couple of years is, I'm a completely different person now in so many different ways. One is, thinking about things from other people's perspectives is important because while
thinking about things from other people's perspectives is important. We're just learning that lesson now at the ripe age of 38. You're just learning that lesson now? I think I learned that when I was literally a child. Before I watched Miranda Sings. Probably when I was 8, 6 even. I think you're learning lessons 30 years too late.
I might have been I can't believe people would say this. I'm sure everyone watching was like, why? I can't believe she's not addressing this properly. I can't believe she's, they felt betrayed by me. My fans and supporters, that I wasn't addressing this the appropriate way and explaining what was going on. And so
I feel like I'm not feeling betrayed. I feel like I'm feeling disgusted because what kind of person doesn't think about other people's perspectives? That is literally the definition of empathy, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And when you hurt someone, you think about how you hurt them. That's empathy. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. People exist and they don't have empathy. Oh, it's a scary world.
I've learned to try to look at conflict from the other person's perspective. I've also, everything that I do and everything that I say, especially as a person of influence, is I'm impacting people. And is that impact necessary?
Not only as a person of influence, but as a person. You're a mother. I feel like that's the most important thing in your life is, not only in your life, and anyone who has children's lives, and hopefully in my life eventually, when you have kids, That's your world. You have to raise human beings to be good human beings. And I'm scared of the things that you're raising.
Necessary, and is it good? Because sometimes you don't need to make them laugh if it's going to hurt someone along the way. Like, you don't need to, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Thinking about the long term, as someone who thinks in the here, right now, what will make people happy right now and make people like me right now, that doesn't always result in good things. You know, thinking in the long term and how is this going to snowball and affect people in the future it's a way I've never thought before, and it's something I'm still learning and working on, because it is my go-to to be like, how can I make this person happy right now? I just want, you know, and that causes problems.
No, I didn't like that. How can I make this person happy right now? That's your inner child. That's your subconscious. That's, you need to do therapy. Whoa. I'm scared. That is a deep part of you from your childhood that felt like you had to pick up the pieces of some sort of dynamic that was in your family. And that happens to a lot of people, but you should have reflected that in your early 20s, in your teenage years, in your early 30s. The fact that you're kind of learning these lessons now, it's like, you're a full-grown adult. Do better.
You really need to be thinking about the other person's well-being and how it will affect them in the future.
Yeah.
And so that's something I've learned and I'm working on a lot.
It's a PSA. If you don't think that way already, you're in trouble, dude.
Parent that you want to make amends, that you are taking responsibility for the things that you have done in the past that were not okay. And you've said, I'm sorry now, many, many times. Before being on this show, and now many times today on the show.
No. There was no many. There was no before the show. It's 2. I'm not even joking, guys. I've watched a lot of content from her in these past years just because, I get fascinated by watching the outside view of a person spiraling and grasping at straws and doing all these things, and then it's like, what are they on the inside? I like that. I find that entertaining. So watching her for these past 2 years, like getting like random updates here and there on her shitty behavior, and then while her crash out was happening, watching that unfold and watching people react to it, the picture that I have of her inside psyche is actually disturbing.
Done in the past that were not okay. And you've said, I'm sorry now, many, many times.
There is no many. I've seen it. It's 2.
Before being on this show, and now many times today on the show. But I want to know, have you been able to, / will you forgive yourself?
For some things, I think.
Crazy Amy, shut the fuck up. Will you forgive yourself? I haven't pondered that one.
But I also think I'm one of those people that, like, whatever hate comments or hate I receive, I've already thought it about myself at some point in my life. So, I'm my biggest hater. They ain't got nothing on me. So, like, it's hard for me to have grace with myself and forgiveness. And I think that's why it's taken me so long to even say anything, is I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll just back away. Because I just, and that's one of the things I've learned in the last 2 years, is so much of my self-worth was based in the validation from my fans and making sure I was being entertaining and I was giving them what they wanted. And
that's the issue. You knew your fans were children, and you based your self-worth and validation off of the opinion of children. That's why you put them in the group chats. That's why you're making the sexual comments, to try to seem cool and edgy. It's inappropriate. And yeah, again, therapy. You got enough money for therapy, okay? Spend the good coin. Get the good therapist, okay?
was as a person.
So when that was taken away, I was like, then I'm nothing. So that was a really hard lesson for me to learn, to find peace and happiness and validation and be okay with myself with that not there. Because you can't put your entire person and your whole validation in like what others think of you. And that's what I was doing with my fans. I wasn't anything without that.
Do you remember earlier when I asked you what your lesson was for your soul? That, to me, is actually the answer.
It's warm and ready. It's warm and ready, you fucking cunt. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, you know why I get so mad? Because when I see people on a podcast like this, it's a performance. You see, I'm performing for you. I see her on a podcast studio saying, now what do you think your soul would want? I think that's the answer right there. That's performative. That's a performance, and I want to give you a nice, hot, warm, fresh out the oven knuckle sandwich, you fucking cunt. Oh my god. That's why I don't like her. She's like sandpaper to my soul. Grating and annoying. And again, a knuckle sandwich is ready. Whenever you want it, come get it, bitch.
The person that you are, because you've struggled with your worth, because you've struggled with your confidence, it's like when you have those questions of, am I worthy enough to be here? If you're in this industry and you show weakness, that will be eaten alive.
Yeah.
Because people prey on that.
Right.
And I think your soul's journey here is to learn that you're worthy and to really find peace in yourself and love yourself. Because I tell you, it's brutal.
I pity these people, because what do you mean you had to learn that on a podcast? That's embarrassing. I learned that by myself in a dark room pondering my existence for my entire life, okay? I know who I am. I'm quite confident in that. And the fact that these people haven't had that chance is sad. I pity you. You have every opportunity for self-reflection. You have every opportunity to figure out what your soul's journey is. Why haven't you?
I think this is not us.
I tell you.
Well,
it's brutal.
I'm still working on that one.
I know.
I think this is not a woe is me thing at all. But like with everything that happened, I was about to do another Broadway show, and I was writing my next book, and I was in the middle of a big tour, and everything was one by one like plucked from me. Everything that I'd been working on and worked for decades.
You know what? I'm gonna let Miranda cook for a second. Actually, she kind of almost cooked there for a second, cause Colleen cheated on her husband with the guy who played her brother in her show. They never addressed that either. That's how I know they didn't do their research. At least not as much research as I did. Because I'm just purely fascinated by this individual and why do you think that way? Miranda saying that Colleen has no self-worth, probably the reason she cheated on her husband, probably a reason for a lot of things there. Maybe that is her soul's journey. Maybe we should let her cook, okay? Maybe she's got a point there, because yeah, she does need to learn that lesson. And if it takes you going on a fucking podcast to learn that lesson, I pity you. That's a sad way to live. And I don't know why I feel like that. That's just my personal opinion. So
gone. And it sucked. But honestly, what really struck me was who am I without this validation from these people? So it took me a while to wake up and not be disappointed, but I definitely worked really hard to get there and realized one day I'm not getting any validation from any audience, and I'm okay. And obviously I have the most important things in the world to me, which is my children and my family, and that's all that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at now. I think I needed to get to that point before coming out and saying anything, because I need to have everything that I need before I
you need this.
Make sure this is because I'm just want to clear the air and say my side of things without any like expectations or, you know.
Or ukulele.
Or ukulele. God, fuck that ukulele. Can I say that word?
You can say that word.
Thank you so much, Colleen, for coming and bearing your soul and being honest and addressing the concerns of others.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you want to touch on what she's doing now?
No one gives a shit what I'm doing. Who cares? They find me.
Just say it. So we can have it.
Yeah,
Read
be like,
my
well, you
book.
can find me at follow me on Instagram.
Oh my God. Thank you all so much for listening to today's episode. I want to take a moment to thank you guys, our community, for being here with us. We are so grateful for all of you. And something else I do want to share is one of the things that I really like about podcasting and what made me actually want to start a podcast with Raven was we really like to have conversations with all types of people. People that we know well, people that we don't know at all, people that have different views than we have, people that have similar views. I think that...
Have me on. Let's clear the air right now. I said a lot of rude things about you. Have me on. That's my goal as well. I like conversation. I like talking things out. But also, I like being funny and being a judgmental bitch, so take that as you will. God, no. I hope, honestly, if this does do numbers or whatever, it probably won't. I have 300 fucking subscribers. Like, it's, let's be real, it's not going anywhere. But, honestly, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind talking to them. I know I talked a lot of shit. I love Raven. I'm not gonna talk shit about Raven. She is what she is. But I just don't know Miranda, and that's why I feel like so... Like, I feel like she's disingenuous. She comes off weird. If I went on their podcast, I try to clear the air about her, to be honest. Because we already know Raven. I try, not even that, I try to clear the air about her and Raven. Because, like, I feel like I got introduced to them through a commentary video who was basically being like, yeah, Raven's bitch-ass wife is a bitch. And I was like, yeah, she is. Fuck that bitch. And then everything that she was saying was kind of just confirming that. And I was like, yeah, she's so pretentious. She's so annoying. So maybe if I actually talked to her in person, I would not think she's a bitch. But I don't know. Anyway. There's like 30 seconds left. Let's hear them out.
A beautiful part of life is sitting down to have honest, hard, authentic, fun, joyful conversation with people and learning how to show all people respect. And we want to do more of that on this show. So we felt it was our duty as your hosts to inform you of what our intention is and where we plan to go in the future with Tea Time.
I'm here to inform you that it came off like you need money. Final thoughts. People are messy. Life is messy. If you get Adam's opinion on this, of course he's gonna be pissed. Because she never apologized to him. I'd be pissed too. I am still pissed a little bit, but at the same time, now that I know her side, she literally never said it before. Now that I know her side, I'm like, you know what? I understand that you're human, Colleen, and I can give you your props when they're due, but you need to address the cycle of abuse that you're perpetrating in your personal life. And you don't have to prove that to anybody, but if you do want an audience in the future, you do have to prove that by consistently making change for the better and restricting your content to adults only. Continue with comedy, continue with Broadway, continue with whatever you want to do, but it's only adults from now on because you burnt that bridge. It's over. You can't go back. There's no... And why would you want to go back? Why, if you want validation, or not even validation, if you want praise, if you want validation, if you want to laugh, if you want to be friends with your audience cannot be children because that's an inappropriate relationship. That's where it's coming from. That's the whole thing. You can't have a friendship with children. You can't have a sexually charged conversation with children, and that's a lesson your brother has to learn. I'd love to talk more about that, because that's where the actual grooming is. Not like Adam didn't get groomed, because he did. He had to do free work, and then he got free shows and special treatment. That's grooming. That's literally grooming. That's literally a definition of grooming. And you know, I understand. I feel bad for the victims at the end of the day. I don't want them to get re-traumatized. I hope that if they are watching this, that they find this cathartic. I hope everyone kind of sees where I'm coming from with this, but life is messy, and she's a person who exists. And hey, guess what? The internet will take you back. If you actually wanted to come back, they would take you back. Jeffree Star is back, Shane Dawson's back, James Charles is back. Everyone who ever did anything shitty is back. The only problem is that that's not what's best for themselves. That's not what's best for their soul's journey. Okay, so you decide, Colleen, you decide what's best for your soul's journey, okay? Okay. Anyway, yeah, guys, this is my first YouTube video ever. Sitting down recording this, first YouTube video. Are we proud of me? I'm proud of you for making it this far. I think your attention span is above average for your age group, and applause to you if you were actually watching and not doing something like me. But if you were crocheting or painting or anything, I'm proud of you. That looks cool too. And if you're eating lunch, man, I think you need some time off the screens. Check your screen time, okay? Subscribe if you want. I have like 300 subscribers. I don't know if anyone's actually gonna watch this video. This is probably gonna flop. But this is really just practice for myself. I don't give a fuck who sees this shit. And that's obvious by my attitude, okay? Anyway, during this video, I crocheted 5 mini granny squares for my mom's blanket. I've been working on this shit for about 2 years. I was actually working on this when the original ukulele video came out. I'm not even joking. So that's like kind of like trippy. That's kind of like crazy. Anyway, yeah, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching. I genuinely appreciate it, because let's grow a bestie army. Like, let's give everybody knuckle sandwiches. Like, let's do it. Like, okay. I don't know how to end this.